In the world of classic television, few shows have had the enduring impact of The Honeymooners. With its memorable characters and timeless humor, it's kept audiences laughing for decades. An integral part of the show's magic was Joyce Randolph, who masterfully portrayed the sweet and sensible Trixie Norton. Behind the scenes, however, Randolph harbored a secret carefully tucked away from the public eye. Join Facts First as we present Joyce Randolph kept this hidden while filming The Honeymooners. How she became part of The Honeymooners. The Honeymooners started as a series of short sketches on the Dumont Network's Cavalcade of Stars, but it later became a regular feature on the Jackie Gleason Show on CBS. Randolph's journey to The Honeymooners was entirely unexpected. Before landing the role, she starred in a commercial for breath mints. Then one day she received a call from Jackie himself, who was searching for a quote-unquote serious actor to audition for his skit. Little did Randolph know she'd end up playing the role of a sewer worker's wife and become a part of one of the most iconic TV shows ever. Despite the meager pay and her character being overshadowed by the other three, she was grateful for the opportunity. As if struck by a bolt of lightning, Gleason realized the comedic chemistry between himself, Carney, Audrey Meadows, and Randolph was pure gold. With a stroke of genius, he transformed The Honeymooners into a half-hour sitcom that took the world by storm, airing for 39 episodes between 1955 and 56. The Adelphi Theater in Manhattan was buzzing with excitement as the show was filmed with a live audience. Surprisingly, the cast and crew opted for minimal rehearsals, adding an element of spontaneity to the performances. While Jackie despised the idea of rehearsing and preferred impromptu performances, Art, Audrey, and Joyce would gather every Saturday morning to meticulously review this script. Jackie was the master of his domain, answering to no one and calling all the shots. His talent was remarkable, and despite his size, he moved with the grace of a feather while performing comedy. Randolph, Art, and Audrey embarked on a thrilling roller skating adventure in the heart of New York City to perfect their moves for a roller skate skit. Jackie, however, was a mysterious figure when it came to his practice routine, as no one had ever caught a glimpse of it. Regardless, he emerged onto the ice with a graceful glide and left the audience in awe. Fast-paced production. As soon as Jackie Gleason's polished shoe hit the set of The Honeymooners, the air around him morphed into a whirlwind of professionalism. Randolph vividly remembered how the Great One burst onto the scene with a frenzied energy that never waned. She revealed that tension was high on the set. Newcomers who were only on the show for a week often struggled to adapt to the rapid pace. She even recalled a time when an actor vomited in the wings due to nerves. The experience was a roller coaster of emotions, both thrilling and terrifying. Joyce was impressed by the remarkable abilities of her co-stars Audrey Meadows and Art Carney to keep up with Gleason. She acknowledged that they carried the show, and while her part was generally smaller, she was always excited when it was more extensive. She admitted, though, it was challenging. She praised Art, calling him a genius and describing him as wonderful. During the filming of the inaugural episode, Randolph shared an interesting anecdote about her co-star's emotional state. She explained Gleason's rule of rehearsing only once was challenging for everyone on set. She remembered Audrey expressing astonishment at the minimal rehearsal time, and Audrey had told her she was in tears during the first show, but she praised Audrey's brilliance for helping her overcome it. Randolph detailed how Audrey devised a rehearsal strategy that didn't breach Gleason's rule, mainly because it didn't involve him. She observed that Audrey had an impressive ability to memorize all the lines regardless of who said them. After their single rehearsal with Jackie on Saturday afternoons, they'd all head to Audrey's dressing room. Audrey's manager would read Jackie's lines, which, according to Randolph, greatly helped everyone as they could rehearse several times in this manner. Her exit from The Honeymooners. Randolph described Gleason as an unusual individual who was not particularly affable and often displayed mood swings. She mentioned he was not one to engage in casual conversation. Contrary to fans' images of the sitcom stars from their favorite show hanging out after work, this wasn't the case with the cast of The Honeymooners. Randolph clarified that they didn't spend any time together after filming. At 9 o'clock, when they concluded filming, everyone went their separate ways. When Gleason moved to Florida and brought back The Honeymooners in several TV movies and in another show from 1966 to 70, Randolph revealed she wasn't included. She recounted an encounter with Audrey years later, who informed her Gleason had searched for her but had been unable to locate her. Randolph dismissed this as nonsensical, stating Gleason had chosen to employ his longtime friend Jane Keene to play Trixie. But she was fine with this decision as she had no intentions of relocating from New York, where her husband worked and where she was contentedly raising their son. Now, as the only surviving cast member of the original series, the 98-year-old actress remains associated with the show. She acknowledged that despite her extensive work in theater and early TV, she's still recognized as Trixie, expressing her surprise at the show's enduring popularity. Her approval of the Honeyzoomers. The pandemic-era series The Honeyzoomers received positive remarks from the last surviving cast member of the renowned sitcom The Honeymooners. Randolph had heard about it and expressed her belief that it was an excellent concept. The web series, developed by playwright Charles Messina, has released 39 episodes online. This equals the number of classic 39 half-hour episodes of The Honeymooners. The actors participated remotely during the COVID lockdown from their homes, with scenes later edited together. Randolph revealed to the Daily News that she had watched a New Year's Eve Honeymooners marathon and relished reruns of the show. While she has a soft spot for the Sleepwalker episode, where Carney's character grapples with sleep problems, she finds it challenging to choose a favorite. She humorously stated over the phone from her Upper West Side home, where she's resided for 60 years, that any episode where she had more than 4 or 5 lines was a favorite. She explained it was never an option to ask Gleason to provide her character with more lines. She mentioned that communication with Gleason was minimal, and asking for anything was out of the question, as he was not much of a talker and disliked rehearsing extensively. Aside from her pioneering sitcom, Randolph commended I Love Lucy and Seinfeld as programs that have aged well. However, she confessed she had never anticipated people would still be discussing The Honeymooners after all these years. Jackie Gleason was a philanthropist. According to Jim Bishop's book, The Golden Ham, a candid biography of Jackie Gleason, the comedian had a heart of gold and was dedicated to giving back. He revealed Gleason was generous and often extended financial support to a diverse range of organizations and individuals. From supporting the Boy Scouts to cerebral palsy campaigns, churches, aspiring writers, and struggling actors, he was a true champion of those in need. In Bishop's memory, he recalls the moment when Gleason stumbled upon a news article about a janitor who tragically took his own life. Despite her illness, his wife outlived him and continued to carry on his legacy. In a heartwarming gesture, Gleason reached out to the news publication with noble intent to cover the expenses of the janitor's funeral. Jackie Gleason reportedly paid generous salaries. Although Gleason maintained a composed and business-like attitude while filming, he made sure to generously compensate his team. Back in the day, Gleason's payment was deemed a hefty sum of cash. Bishop revealed that the comedian's valet was living the high life with a weekly salary of $100, plus the added perks of meals and housing. His secretary was also raking in a cool $12,000 annually, while the talented scriptwriters were earning a respectable $750 a week. Now it's time to hear from you. Are you a fan of the classic Honeymooners show? Let us know in the comments section below.